Good morning, guys. Mark Angelo here. The title of this morning's video is called Self the Key to Success, Key to Your Success. Um, I find it um, extremely important to understand that the key to your success is how you feel and think about yourself. You know, it really doesn't matter what other people think. I mean, we've somehow created the notion that our worth is based on how other people think about us. And why should we do that to ourselves? Why should we give other people that power? I think that stems from childhood, where we're constantly looking for approval. We're constantly looking for the approval of our siblings, our parents, our peers. And frankly, if we learned the concept that what other people think is not our problem, what other people think is not going to in any way change the way we feel, or we shouldn't allow that to take place. I learned that rather quickly growing up. I always found that no matter what I did to try to please my mother, my father, my friends, it was never good enough. And if I based my life on that, I was going to face a world of hurt. It's not always easy, to understand that or to play it out, because again, we've been programmed, good boy, good girl, It's like we're some sort of dog or puppet, and here, Fido, catch, good boy, here's your treat. We're programmed from the time we're little. But when we reprogram our brains, when we reteach ourselves that our happiness is not based on other people, our happiness is not based on the thought process of another human being, then we start to really evolve and grow as a human being and break away from that chain, those restrictions, those walls that we put ourselves into. I think one of the reasons that I learned that is because from a very young age, I got made fun of, whether it was the fact that I was cross-eyed, whether it was the fact that I wore glasses, or the fact that I was an immigrant from another country that didn't really fit in this country when I first arrived here at the tender age of 5. I learned that my happiness was not going to be based on fitting in, on trying to perform for other people. So, as a member of the LGBT community, one of my biggest advice for all of us, all of you out there that consider yourself part of the LGBT, is beat your own drums. Don't base your happiness, your success, your failures on other people's thoughts, on other people's what's the word I'm looking for? Other people's needs for you, because their approval, is based on what they want out of you. And if you don't match up, if you don't get to that bar that they've put you in, then you're going to feel like a failure. So set your own guidelines, set your own factors, Don't base it on other people. Base it on you. Base it on what you as an individual want for yourself. Don't base it on what somebody else wants for you. Because if you're constantly trying to please people, you're going to be like a dog chasing your tail. You're never going to actually find that happiness, because you don't even know what you as a person wants. You're being programmed by a society, by a system, by religious factors, by other people's standards. And you can't ever find happiness if you're facing life based on other people's standards. You have to create your own. You're a unique individual, every single one of you. So this uniqueness, you know, is something that you need to cultivate for yourself, not base it on other people. I think it's very important to try to see the chat room. If other people, oops, if other people want you to be a certain way and you're not responding to their needs, what's going to happen? They're going to shame you. They're going to make you feel less than. And why do you think they're doing that? Because it makes them feel better, you know? So one of the key factors to being happy is to increase your own self-worth. Don't let the standard of the government, the standard of religion, of finances, for a living. Well, it doesn't matter what you do for a living because we're living in a world, in a matrix that makes us jump hoops, tries to sell us products, all for their own benefit. It's not for your benefit. It's for the benefit of this paradigm that we're living in. They want us to conform. And in that conforming, they're going to you without you even knowing it. I mean, from the moment you turn on that TV, which it sits there, I never watch TV, have no inkling whatsoever, no desire. But from the moment those of you turn on that television, you're being programmed to buy a certain product, to think a certain way. The news is not the news. We should call it programming because they try to spin the story to get you to think the way they want you to think. So set up your own standards. Realize that you're worth more than what the system is pretending. It's all a game. It's all a game. So if you feel, and I'm going to base this on gender misalignment or transgender or genderqueer or whatever, if you feel different from the pack, then realize that that's a beautiful thing. Being different is the most amazing thing ever. Why would you want to be like everyone else? Why would you want to be a replica of what society wants every single one of us to be like? Go to school, get a degree, get a piece of paper that says you're somebody. You are somebody without the piece of paper. You are somebody just because you are, because part of the universe and the way things turned out at the moment your mom and dad got together and created you was the most miraculous thing ever. Because you know how hard it is to actually get an egg and an ovum to create that magic. Byproduct of you, it's a beautiful thing. And you shouldn't let anyone or anything determine who you are and how you feel. That belongs to you. That is all you. But the system is set up to make us feel like failures, to make us feel like we're nobodies. We're nobody unless you drive this car. You're nobody unless you look a certain way. You're nobody unless you're walking around with a status. But they are so wrong, because you are somebody. You are somebody very special. Don't ever let anyone tell you what your worth is. Because your worth is not determined by how you look, by what you buy, by what that mirror tells you. Because all of this is all temporary. This doesn't last. You look around you and people age and get wrinkles, and your face starts to change from what you remembered it from when you were in your youth, in your prime. And what are you going to do? Go do what they tell you to do. Go to get surgery, cosmetics, break your face, do this, do that. Because if you look a certain way, then you're golden. But that's a lie. I think we're the only creature on this planet that ever worries about what they look like. Do animals look at mirrors? The trees look at mirrors. They're majestic because they're just majestic. They find their self-worth within themselves, not about what another planet tells them. So it is important, in order for you to succeed in life, to reprogram your brain, to reprogram the way you feel and think, and eliminate those old programmings that tell you you're not good enough. You'll only be good enough if you do this, that, and the other. Do things because you want to do it, because it feels good for you to do it, not because somebody else is asking you to do it, not because you're trying to measure yourself against some sort of standard. Set your own standards. Set your own pace. And that, my friend, will be the way that you will finally find happiness, balance, and a pure understanding of the essence of you, of how wonderful you are as a human being. So anyway, today is Saturday, and I work again from 2 to 11. Counting down the days where that schedule's no longer. It feels like your day is like really interrupted because you're like, you can't really get involved in anything or do anything because you got to worry about being at work at a certain time. Versus if you got work out of the way, then you have the freedom to do what you feel you want to do without that kind of constraint or worries. So countdown, I'm hoping no more than a few weeks. I think they've hired a few people, and some of the people that are on vacation should be coming back. Closing is really, really hard. I mean, I use complaining because it's where I've got to be and what I got to do right here, right now. But I'm looking forward to better times and better things. But it's all part of the programming. It's like, I know that I am where I am and where I need to be. It's all part of the maturation of the process of life, whatever it is that I, as a spirit being, have to go through to learn and evolve. So that's how it goes. Anyways, I get a day off on Monday, and then I don't get another day off till Thursday. I hate when they do that. They split the days up. So, but it is what it is, I know that this is just a temporary phase in my life, and that old saying, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. I'm rather content with the way my life is right now. And living in the now is the key to my success. Because if I look to the past, I start comparing things and I start getting anxious. If I look to the future, then I start getting anxious because things aren't moving fast enough. Things aren't being done the way that I want them to be. And that's, that's set up for failure. Because one of the things I've learned through the Buddhist belief is desire creates suffering. If you have no expectations whatsoever, then there's no suffering because you're just living in the flow, And I think that also ties in with our self-worth. From the time you're little, you're being told you got to get good grades, you've got to do this, you got to do that. We're so programmed to lead our life a certain way that it's safe to say that very few people know exactly what it is that they want for themselves. Because a lot of what we think we want was placed there by either a teacher, a parent, a preacher. No one ever really goes in and says, what do I want? How do I feel? What do I think? It's programs from other people, from our siblings, from our friends, from our peers. From the moment we are we start school at the age of 5, kindergarten, we're being told what to do, how to feel, how to think, how to eat, how to move, how to, how to love, who to love, that you don't even get a chance to really reflect and go within. I need to drink some water. That's one of the things that I'm lacking is hydration, and especially at work. There's just no time for that. It's busy, 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 and then you're around all this hot, the fryers and the rotisserie oven, and just constantly and burns and cuts, because we have these where we keep the food, and you put your hand in there, and as soon as you go touch those tongs or the spoons to pour the food, and everything's just hot, hot, hot. I mean, my hands are so hydration in that particular department is very difficult to do because you're constantly on the go. And I find that that's where my my regimen is lacking, is being able to drink as much water as I like. Yesterday on Fridays, Walmart provides foods and drinks for their employee, and of course they had donuts, which I don't eat, but they did have bottled water and sodas. Well, I opted for bottled water. I don't drink sodas, but I drank it during my break. I brought a protein bar that I showed you guys that I bought. If you didn't, the last night's video showed the kind of protein bar that I'm taking now, and I drank an entire bottle of water during the 15-minute break. Oh my gosh, it was like bathroom time, after an hour later. And we can go to the bathroom if, even if, as long as you're not busy, you just tell one, hey, I got to go to the bathroom real quick. But I need to drink more water because with the amount of protein that I'm taking in now, and, the creatine and the glutamine and all that stuff, your body requires more water to be able to process that, and for the cells inside the muscle to work appropriately. Hydration is a key to fat loss. Without water, your body can't burn fat. Without water, your body can't build efficient muscle system. Without water, you can't really even think right. Water is one of the most important nutrients because it is a nutrient. It's got minerals. It's got things that your body requires to detoxify, to get rid of waste, to process things. And I safely say that very few people do drink water. So getting back to self-worth, and I'm going to be, cutting the video soon because I got to go to the gym. Self-discipline leads to self-worth because you yourself are placing demands, but it's your own demands. No one tells me to go to the gym. I don't go to the gym because someone else tells me to. I go to the gym because I want to go to the gym, because I want to build a physique that I am proud of. A physique that when I look in the mirror, I'm like, yes, I built this. This is my doing. And like I've done for I've changed hundreds of bodies, but never really took the time to fully take care of me. And now that's when it's taking place. I'm putting all that energy that I usually put on other people, I'm putting it on me. And if I take a ton of pictures on Facebook, and post them, whatever, it's not to brag. It's not for any other reasons, but to reassure myself that, hey, you're on the right track, buddy. You're doing good. Keep up the good work, And it's only been 6 weeks. I mean, I was looking at the calendar when I started back up on testosterone, and when I started really focusing on my body, it's only been 6 weeks. And, safe to say that I see a tremendous change already in such a short amount of time. But, it's consistency. It's being able to get up in the morning and going to the gym, get it out of the way. It's feeding my body the right types of food that it needs so it could heal. It's sleeping. Right now, I'm only sleeping 6 hours. I would like to do 8, and I think when I change my schedule around, that will be better accomplished. Um, Workouts are going to have to be a little different, because 4 to 1, I'm not going to go to the gym at 1 o'clock in the morning, obviously. So, I mean, I'll probably be going to bed around 8:30 to be up by quarter to 3 or 2:30 to be at work at 4. I don't like rushing. I'm used like half an hour before they have to be at work. I don't like to rush. I respect myself too much for that. I like to give myself time, to be present, not to rush. Rushing to me is just such a killer of everything. That's anxiety and cortisol production, not a good thing for your health. So I just like to take my time. I like to be wherever I'm at early, never late. And that's me. That's how I've programmed myself to be. And that's how I enjoy living. I don't enjoy rushing around and being late, and that's not me. Me is responsible. Me is on time and early. Me is take the time to be present while you do what you do. This rush, 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 rush. You never know what you're doing. I mean, it's like this hand is doing this and this hand. It's like, no, present, being mindful. That's that, in my opinion, my book is very important. So anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing my journey. I appreciate every single one of you. If I could be of any service, if there's any questions that you need answered, if there's any particular topic that you want me to cover, please feel free to write the comments down below or write me a private email at transitionradioshow@gmail.com. Life is what we make it, folks. You are the master of your own universe. No one else. Hey, Sarah, thank you for tuning in. Yes, it's, very few people really think that they are responsible for their well-being. We love, as humans, to point fingers at others. I'm like this because of that, and it's all your fault. But in reality, whose fault really is it? Who is in control? Who is driving this train, this truck, this vehicle? We are. We are the only ones responsible for our own happiness. We are responsible for the way our life turns out. Nobody else is. We love to blame other people, but, Okay, take care. Take care. Have a great day, Sarah. Thank you for tuning in. We are the only ones that have the capability of turning the bus to the left or turning the bus to the right or just going straight forward. Nobody else but you is responsible for your life. Nobody. Nobody else is responsible for how you feel. Your self-worth, notice the word self and worth, should not be based on what other people think. Contrary to popular belief, contrary to our programming, it's all you. Take control of that vehicle. Take control of your life. Make that change. So you're overweight, you don't like the way you look, your pants fit too tight. Whose fault is that? We're going to blame, oh man, it's that donut that they keep putting in front of me. Why do they do that? Oh God, that smells so good. I have no self-discipline. Why don't you? Why don't you have any self-discipline? So you're telling me that that slice of pizza or that donut or that burrito or that burger has more power than you? You are giving that food item that much power? Really? So why don't you reprogram yourself? And instead of allowing that food item, that drug, that alcoholic beverage to have such control over you, why don't you have control over it? Why don't you reprogram your brain? Take 7 days and you have it. Go to your cabinets and look and see what you have in there. If it's things that are not for your ultimate health, for your ultimate well-being, and for your ultimate look, then grab a garbage bag and start putting it in there. And if you don't want to throw the food away, donate it. And I hate to say donate it because then somebody else is going to end up, yes, it's an addiction and disease, but what is addiction and what is disease? Why do we always, as humans, have to find a word or a concept that takes over us? It's all up here. It's all up here. I've been addicted to drugs when I was younger. I was addicted to food because I was programmed as a kid that food gives me comfort and makes me feel good. That's the only control that I have, is to feel good with this food item. What is food? Food is something that you put in your mouth, you chew, you swallow, you feel that pleasure momentarily, then it's gone. Then what lasts a very long time is the guilt. It's how you look. I don't believe that any brain is malfunction. I think that's the way we've been programmed, to believe that we are defaulty or faulty. It's, again, programming. It's like a computer. You know how we program our computer to do certain things? We can do the same thing with our brains. A muscle doesn't grow by going, you will grow, okay? No, it grows by creating certain movements, creating, certain techniques that would allow that muscle to grow. It doesn't just like decide, hey, I want big muscles. You hear me? We've got to do the work. And that's why we're here on this beautiful planet, to do the work. We're not some random molecule atoms banging itself together. We're here for a reason, and we're here to grow and evolve as humans. They've made us feel like we're just a bunch of rats in a maze, bumping into walls and trying to find our way out. The muscles can't identify as strong. You have to work those muscles. You have to put the right ingredients into your body so that muscle will develop, so that then you could have strength. Because what you're doing is you're tearing living daylights out of the muscle cells, and the muscle cells go, we got to get strong because this idiot is just like tearing the heck out of us. Well, that tearing process is what creates growth. Life and all its obstacles and all its painful experiences, and I go like this because that's very subjective. You may not be painful to me, but all these experiences is what helps us grow stronger, wiser as individuals. Instead of becoming a victim, which is very easy for all of us to do, become a victor. Learn from our mistakes. Grow from our mistakes. It's part of why we're here. We're not just here like, oh, mommy and daddy decided to have sex and poof, here I am. There's a reason why we're here. There's a reason. Thank you. Angelo said good metaphor or like analogy. Yes. There's something bigger than what we've been taught, than what the little stories we've been given. There's a bigger picture that we fail to look at, and I think when we start to self reflect, start to take responsibility for our life and our actions, start to reflect, then, we could evolve and understand that we are in control of this bus. No one else. There's nobody else driving the bus but you. We like to feel that everybody else is pulling us and driving, and we're so confused and we're so hurt and we don't know what to do, and oh my God, that commercial says that I should look this way, and oh my God, that magazine, look, I've got to look like this model, and oh my God, no. We are in control. Your self-worth is in your hands. Your lack of discipline, it's nobody's fault but your own. Let us take responsibility for our lives, for our actions, for our well-being, for our happiness. Let us not give that kind of power away, because it is you, my beautiful friends, that's in charge. And in that note, I'm going to go, because I got to go build my temple, because I, Angelo Cummings, want to build that temple, because it brings me joy, because this right here belongs to me. Love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Nan. Thank you, Sarah. And thank you, those that watch live or those that will be watching this later, for being part of my journey. And I hope that I'm able, let's see, I can't see it. Okay, see you later. Have a good workout. Thank you, Nan. I hope that this video has been helpful, and I want to continue to make many more positive, loving, stimulating, empowering videos to help you achieve your ultimate self, your ultimate dreams, your ultimate needs. Because in the end, it's all about you. Love you guys, but remember to always love yourselves too. Bye-bye. Make today greatest day ever.